Greetings everyone. This is another chapter on this course. In this chapter we shall look at view templates, where we shall explore a variety of view control tools for our structure projects. Basically, we shall focus on how to control your views in Revit to create clear and professional and well-organized structure layouts and details. Before we dive into the tutorial, I would like to first take you through the assignment that I left in the previous video. I had said in the previous video that you would try on your own to create a combined footing for these columns, these two columns. There are various ways you can do this, but let me illustrate one of them. Then you can share down in the comments how you achieved yours, if at all you did the assignment. Now, when I head over to these two here, I'll illustrate using these two and copy on the other grid. First of all, you need to know the length and width of your footing. Let me draw detail lines. So on my keyboard, I'll type DL for detail lines. Choose this option of pick lines. Add an offset of say 1 meter. This is for illustration purposes. There's no analysis that I'm following. I'm going to choose this edge. You can see the preview inside. Oh, sorry, Ctrl Z. Like that. TR for trim and extend. Like so. Then I need my footing to follow this outline. So let me measure how long this is. This is 4.123. Okay, let me use a round number. So I'll choose 4,100. Then this is 2,300. So when I choose this footing, come to edit type, duplicate, use those very measurements. This is 4.1, this is 2.3. Then here change to 2.3 and 4,100. Okay. Then let me remove this outline. Hover over the detail line, tab on your keyboard, then click to select all of them and press delete. Now, how do I align this footing in the middle here such that the midpoint of the distance between these two columns is the same midpoint of this footing? I'll use lines, detail line again, and draw a temporal line there and here, then join these two, then draw another one from this midpoint. So this will give me a reference for aligning the center line of this footing to the center line of the distances between these two columns. So AL on my keyboard, this and this. You see, before you choose, you hover over what you're about to click or select, and Revit will tell you what that is. Now I want to move this to this. You can copy, but I want to illustrate one other tool, which is Merge Properties. Head over here to the clipboard and choose this tool, Merge Properties. Choose the down here it says select an object to copy its type, which is this. I've selected that. Then select an object to change its type, which is this. Then AL on my keyboard to align like that. We want to clean up these views to look professional. Now this is subjective to where you come from, your company requirements, your country requirements. I'll try to illustrate what I can in this tutorial. If you head over to view here, on the right here you have these options for Windows. where you say we can tile our views. If I'm to make a change in this view on the right, I'll see it happen also here at the same time. To head back to the way they were, you choose tab views. Then when you head over down here to the view control bar at the bottom, there are some tools here, various tools I want to take you through. There's a scale. You can always choose which scale you want. If it's not among these, come here to custom. If at all your units are in inches or feet, this also will appear differently. It will not be 125. It will appear differently. So I want to assume that you understand when it comes to inches. On the right here, we have the detail level. This view is set to medium. The fine detail level shows more details compared to these others. The more you move to coarse, the less details are shown. Let me illustrate with the steel column. Come here to structure and choose column, structure column. Then change here to, let me use this universal beam. And select a point like here. Let me zoom in. You could see that with the fine detail level, you see the fillets, you see the outline of the steel column section. But when I switch to medium, these fillets are gone. Then if I choose coarse, you can see the difference. This is what I was saying. Let me remove this and zoom out using my scroll wheel. Now on the right here we have the visual style. Personally, I like hidden line for my views and details, but if for some reason you want to use any of these others, you can toggle between all of them and see how different your model will look like. This is for crop view. What this does is it only shows that area of the view that is within the extent of the crop region. Then on the right here, if you choose this tool to show the crop view, to show the crop region and zoom out, you can see this outline. Now this outline shows the area of the view that will be visible, or the area of the view that will be able to be printed if at all you are printing this view. If you want anything outside of this view not to be considered, that's when you turn on the crop view. To illustrate this, when you select this outline and adjust like this, you can see I'm leaving out this elevation annotation. And also do it on this other side. You see that they are still visible because I've not turned on crop view. If I turn it on, they're not visible anymore. Then personally, I don't like working with this outline on, so I'll turn it off like that. Sorry, it is this one. I also want to bring to your attention this side of extents. Instead of coming here, you would actually use these. Then if I'm to turn off crop view, now if I switch this on for annotation crop, if I switch this on, there's that second outline that is indicated. What that second outline does is to hide all annotations. That includes dimensions, texts, and tags. If I had this column here, then when you select this and head over down here, and you can select hide element, isolate element, hide category, or isolate category. If you hide element, it will disappear, it will be hidden from the view. For isolate element, it will hide the rest except what you've selected. Then hide category, it will hide all columns that match its properties. Isolate category to hide everything else except the category of that column. Let me illustrate using hide category. Now you can see all columns are gone. On the right, reveal hidden elements. So when you select this light bulb icon, you can see the hidden elements, those that are in a different color than the gray. Let me turn this off. And even here, hidden line and fine. Then I want to bring your attention to visibility graphics. Head over to the view tab, visibility graphics at the left this side, like this. For my view, I want to head over to, remember we are under model categories. I want to head over to the structure elements. My columns, I want them visible. If you uncheck this, all your columns will not be visible in that view. Let me illustrate this. If I click apply, you're going to see that these columns are disappearing like that. But I want them on. Then for the lines, let me choose line weight of 3. And the color, we choose this. Okay. The cut lines, same weight and same color. Then the cut patterns, I want a solid fill. And choose what you like. Then when I choose apply, you can see. Let me close this. Let me also change this to dark for you to see what I'm saying. Let me head over to visibility graphics again and head over to edit these others. For structural foundation, these are my footings. Come to lines, choose 3 in the color. This. When it comes to patterns, I don't want any, so I'll turn these off. Now, what that does, remove this concrete, this annotation, this pattern you see here. If I choose apply, you can see it's gone. I want my views like this. Then you come here to cut. I want to maintain the color and the weight for the cut. Then for patterns, I don't want any concrete, so I'll choose OK. Then head over to the walls, do the same thing. Let me select my walls to stand out and I choose yellow. Then the weight to the patterns. I don't want patterns if at all. Okay, let me put patterns if at all the wall is below the view. Same color as before. Then the cut, of course this one I need the patterns for this one. Choose brickwork. The background is same as foreground. However, if they are different, you'll find that it is showing 2 patterns within one element, but I don't like that. When I choose apply, you can see how it looks like here. Now I prefer using this dark background. That's why I've chosen these colors. You can see how it looks like here. Then I'll click OK. Here under view templates, choose create template from current view. When you choose this, give it a name. I like to start with underscore so that on the list it appears at the top. I'll name this structural floor. Floors. Okay. So when you head over to the first floor, on the left here, I can come here under identity data, and under view templates, it shows none. But when I choose structure floor like this, you can see that a new template has been created for this floor. However, it looks like nothing has changed, but let me give an example that I move all these columns to the floor above. You know, they go up to the first. This should show a solid color. Since our view template is set to show a cut pattern of a solid color for our columns, I select all these columns, head over to the properties palette and change the top level to ring beam. Now you can see how they look like, because that's how our view template was set. Now I like my beams to be free of these patterns. So instead of going to visibility graphics, you head over to view templates here and make the changes from here. View template, then structure floors. Let me illustrate these other changes also. For the scale, if I choose say 50, this will adjust for all views with this view template. Let me change that to, let me say 20. So that's for the scale. Let me leave it at 100. The display mode, I want to leave it as normal. If you use halftone, what this means is the lines are faint. If I choose apply, you can see how that changes. I'll leave it normal. Detail level, I want it as fine. Path visibility, I'll leave it as original. Then visibility graphics overrides model. Now these are from here to here. You can access them from here also. But under model categories, let me head over to structure framing and make changes for my beams. My beams, let me choose red. The weight as 2. I want my columns to stand out, that's why I'll use 2. I don't want patterns, fill patterns on the surface. Now this is surface because the beam is not above our view. Although they are at the same level, but it's not above our view. So the view does not cut the beam. So even if you change here the cut pattern to say a solid color, and choose red, it will not show red here because the beams are below. Then for the lines, I'll maintain red and 2 there. That's it. Okay, and apply. Okay. Now these remain white because they are hidden, but you can see the outline of this beam inside. Now if I open this level, ring beam level, and I'm going to copy my beams to this level. So when you head over to first floor, I want to copy all the secondary beams, select this beam and select instances in view. Then head over to this option. Notice that we're not using this because this copies in the current view. But if I want to copy to another floor, I head over to copy to clipboard. So when I choose this and come here to paste, I say align to selected levels. Choose this option and to ask you to which level you want to copy. I choose ring beam level and choose OK. So when you head over to ring beam level, you can see they are copied here. Now this one looks as though we don't have a view template. You head over here to identity data, under view template, choose structure floors. Okay. So that's how it will look like. Now I still don't like this concrete pattern. So I'll head over to this option under structure floors, choose visibility graphs overrides model, come here to structure columns and turn off this pattern at the surface. Remember, it is visible because it's not solid, because it's not above this current view. If it were above this current view, it would show solid. Need to take note of that. Okay. Then if you head over to the the foundation level, I like my columns standing out. When I head over to modify and choose the unjoin tool, put down this arrow. When you choose an element, when you select an element, to unjoin that element from all other elements in that view. Then join them again. I come to unjoin and unjoin all these walls. Then join them back to my columns. Choose the column and the wall, column and the wall. This joint, yeah, and this and this. Select this. Join all columns and walls till it cleans up the joints. Choose select the tool again. Then this and this. And this and this, this and that. If at all this is not working out, make sure your walls have a structure usage of shear. Then if I head over to view here, under visibility graphics, we can also create new templates by going here to manage view templates. Then you can see the various names. Now personally, I don't like having this list like this, so I normally delete all these that come with Revit. I like having my own, so when you use this option here for delete, I'll delete all this Then this one that is left, let me duplicate it using this tool, give it a name. Let me say structural foundations. Then let me change something like remember this is the same as this when you come to these others. Let me change something like the footings and make them the under structure foundation and make them red. So when you come to this view and change it from here to structure foundations, that's how it looks like. Now these tools that are under the view template, they are normally no longer accessible when you apply a view template to this view. Now you see that here I can't change the scale, can't change the detail level, I can't even change the visual style. Now what if I want the scale independent of this? You head over to this view template and turn it off here. So when you turn this off, meaning this will not affect the views to which you'll apply this template. So you can always change the scale from here. It's no longer controlled by the view template. I also want to bring your attention to when you head over to the visual style icon here, under graphic display options, there are these options that you see here. Let me access them under the view template here, which are these ones down here. So the model display, the style is hidden. I like to check this option. It gives me smoother lines in my layouts. These others I'll not go much into them. Then I choose OK. Let me also adjust for the other layouts. Head over to view templates, then manage view templates, choose structure flows, and under model display, select this option of smooth lines. Say OK. Let me zoom in here to this wall with these patterns. When you choose an element to place in Revit, of course it has a material attached to it. That material normally has a pattern. Under the visibility graphics options, we find settings to change patterns. Those patterns will override the patterns that came with the element when you're placing Revit. For example, if at all I remove these patterns, when I head over to structure foundation, under walls, here cut, use cut. Let me say under pattern it is no override. If you choose no override, the material that came with that element is the material that will be shown there. Let me illustrate this. Now this material didn't have a pattern assigned to it. If you head over to this wall, come edit type, under structure here, under material, you can see that I've selected these three dots here. It opens the material browser. Then the material is shows by category. Let me change it to say brick. So type here brick. Let me choose this. This is the pattern that will be shown in the foreground for the surface. The background is set to none, then the cut is this. Let me choose, let me make these all the same. So I'll come here to, shall look at patterns later. they are all set to the same background. I can leave the background if at all I've already selected this, but let me just select them either way. Yes, okay. Now you see it comes with a pattern. The color comes from the view template. Remember, I didn't choose a color for under here in the materials browser. Let me show you that. You see this color? I didn't choose a color. I left it as black. But when I came back here, it was showing yellow because under the visibility graphics here, there's a color that is overriding. Sorry, under patterns, there's a color that is overriding the one that came with the patterns of the element. If I turn this off, to say no override, even this no override, you will see that it goes back to white like that. But let me also illustrate that if I choose this cut pattern to a different cut pattern, let me say concrete, it will remove this pattern that came with the material. That's how the visibility graphics overrides the graphic settings that came with the element when you're placing the element in Revit. So let me turn this back to, let me say, no override, but the color I want it yellow. Okay. Now, if at all for some reason the element is not showing the way you want, you can still override the options you set in the visibility graphics. Now, let me bring your attention to this tool. Up here, there's this tool of thin lines. This brings out the real weight of the lines. So if you turn this, if you toggle this on, you can see the difference. Let me leave this off so that I see the true weight of these lines. Let me say for some reason I want to indicate the outline of this footing as broken lines. I will choose the footing, right click and choose override graphics in view. So I'll choose by element. I'll head over to the surface. I'll head over to the projection lines. Normally this is not expanded as this, but if you expand it here like this, you can choose the style you want. Let me say I choose dashed. Then the color, let me leave the color and choose a weight of maybe 1. Say apply. Now you can see our view template will not affect this, even if you come here and change to a different one, it will still show hidden. So that is it for visibility graphics. We shall explore more as we go along. Thank you for listening. I'll see you in the next tutorial where I shall handle dimensions.